Hello and welcome to Tall Guy Films. Today we're talking about the two different edited versions of my most recent film, Statistics. So as you may or may not know, there's actually two different edited versions of the film Statistics. There's the director's cut as well as the TeenDrive cut. The director's cut is about 30 to 40 seconds longer than the TeenDrive cut. So to explain why there's two different cuts and why one of them is so much longer than the other, I need to go back about a year. So a year ago, I entered into the teen driving competition, and I knew that I was going to enter again this year. So this summer, I started writing the script just to get ahead and make sure I had plenty of time to perfect my script and all that stuff. But the official rules and the official competition for this year hadn't been announced yet, so I was working based off of the competition rules for last year's competition. Now, last year, the time limit for the film was 1 minute and 30 seconds. So when I was writing my script in about August, I think it was, I wrote a 1 minute and 30-second clip because you generally want to maximize the amount of time you're allowed to use in competitions like this. So I definitely wanted to use that extra 30 seconds. But when they announced the competition this year, they actually shortened the time limit from 90 seconds to 60 seconds. So I was faced with either rewrite my script, edit my script to cut out 30 seconds worth of stuff, or film what I had and cut out 30 seconds in editing. And what I actually decided to do was to film everything that I had and to decide what to cut when I got into editing. So before I talk about how I made that decision and the cuts that I made, let's go ahead and watch both of the films side by side to show you the differences between the two. In 2013, only 55% of high school students said they wore their seatbelt when riding with someone else. Out of fatal crashes in 2012 with male drivers between the ages of 15 and 20, 37% of the drivers were speeding and 25% were legally intoxicated.
You just crashed. And right now, you don't care about statistics. You don't care that research shows that wearing your seatbelt cuts the number of serious injuries and fatalities due to car accidents in half. You just care that your friend's lack of seatbelt launched him through your windshield at 50 miles per hour, and he landed 30 feet away, and that he sustained fatal injuries, including a fractured skull, broken ribs, and serious internal bleeding. But don't worry, you've still got a couple minutes left before he's gone. Not long enough for paramedics to arrive, but long enough to tell him you're sorry. You're sorry you were under the influence, you didn't make him wear a seatbelt, you were blaring music, and you were speeding. Even one of these things is enough to make you sorry. Don't become another statistic. You don't have to kneel over your dead or dying friend, or have them kneel over you. It's not just about wearing your seatbelt, driving the speed limit, shutting off your phone, or turning down the music. It's about being safe.
Be safe. Alright, so now that you've seen the cuts that I made, let's talk about how I made the decisions for where to cut. So, obviously I had to cut out 30 seconds worth of material, but I was trying to cut as little as possible, and obviously I still wanted to retain the spirit and the story of the film. So the first cut was the intro and the outro that's in the director's edit. The part where I'm listing off the statistics, like some kind of PSA before I move into the actual film. And I think that was my favorite part of the film, actually, and what really made it work for me. So cutting it out was definitely a little sad, but obviously it's not as critical to the actual heart and story of the film as other parts of it. The other parts I cut out were mostly just listing off statistical information or stating various information that was interesting and kind of helped tell the story and, overall help the narrative of it, but it wasn't really that critical, again, to explaining what was happening and really the heart of the film. So those are the parts I cut out. And cutting those parts out was actually pretty sad, and I definitely like the director's cut way more because it is what I wrote and it is what I envisioned when I initially wrote the script. So the TeenDrive edit isn't my favorite. I still like it a lot, but definitely I think the parts that I had to cut out weren't things that I wanted to have to cut out. And really, in any project, there are times where you do have to cut stuff out for various reasons, whether it be time limits, or you don't have time to edit everything that you want to edit, or maybe you just see that a certain scene that you really like isn't working. So for various reasons, you may have to cut out parts of your films. And like I said, it's definitely sad when you have to cut out parts of your films, especially parts that you really liked. But sometimes it is necessary, and as a lot of people say, that when you're making a film, you really need to be able to kill your baby, and that is to take what you really love, and which is your film, and to be willing to be very critical of it, so that you can remove the parts of it that aren't maybe so good, so that you can focus on the parts that are really, really good. And that's what filmmaking is all about. So anyway, that's it for this video. If you liked it, hit the like button. If not, feel free to hit the dislike button. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. And also, if you want to see more videos about statistics, check out my channel.